For me to deliver the no half-step in hockey coverage, so let's get to the goods. It's operation number 685 for the Renegades of Puck. That's right, show number 685. At this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division. They've played 25 games on the season. They have a record of 12, 11, and 2, 26 points. Has them 2 points behind 4th place Minnesota, also 2 points behind 3rd place Colorado, but then 11 points behind the 2nd place Dallas Stars and 11 points behind the 1st place Winnipeg Jets. Preds are 2 points clear of their next opponent, the St. Louis Blues, who sit in 6th place. Arizona Coyotes are 6 points behind Nashville in 7th place, and the Chicago Blackhawks are in 8th and last place in the Central Division. They're 8 points behind the Nashville Predators at this moment in time. The Nashville Predators have a road record of 5-7. The St. Louis Blues have a home record of 5-7, and that's exactly where the next game will take place for the Nashville Predators, is in St. Louis. Overall, the Blues have a record of 12-15-0. They played 2 more games than the Preds on the season. They have 2 less points than the Predators. When it comes to the goals for, goals against categories, some of these numbers can be quite staggering, and I mean they are not good. The Nashville Predators have only scored 67 goals on the season. They've given up 78. They have a goal differential of -11, while the St. Louis Blues have scored 82, but they have given up 105 goals. They are the only team even close to 100 in the Central Division. They are -23 in their goal differential. For the Preds, once they wrap up this one-game road trip in St. Louis, they'll come back home in less than 24 hours. Later, they'll face the Edmonton Oilers at Bridgestone Arena. Thursday, they're out on the road to take on the Winnipeg Jets. Saturday, in Colorado, to take on the Avalanche. And then back home for another one-game homestand, 12-19 versus the Edmonton Oilers. Back on the road on the 21st at the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, this isn't the first time the Preds have met the St. Louis Blues this season. They met back on October the 27th. The Preds secured a 6-2 victory over St. Louis. The captain, Roman Josi, was a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Sanford, McCarron, Jeannot, all with a goal in that game. Not exactly your high rollers when it comes to the offensive side of things. Again, Sanford, McCarron, Jeannot, all chipping in with goals in that game. Grice took the loss for St. Louis, 36 out of 41. Saros got the victory for Nashville, 33 out of 35. These two Central Division rivals will meet 2 more times this season. January the 19th, the Preds will go into St. Louis for the 2nd and final time. And on April the 1st, the Nashville Predators will welcome St. Louis into Bridgestone Arena. Now, for the St. Louis Blues, taking a look at their last 5 games, and these scores, the numbers, really high. A lot of crooked numbers, as they like to say, on the box score. 12-1, we go back. 6-4 loss versus Carolina on 12-3. A 6-2 loss at the Pittsburgh Penguins. On December the 5th, a 6-4 loss at the New York Rangers. St. Louis was well ahead in that game and blew that lead in the 3rd period. On the December the 6th, it was a 7-4 win at the New York Islanders, and most recently on December the 8th, a 5-2 loss versus the Winnipeg Jets. Now, we mentioned the Nashville Predators are in the first of back-to-back games. We'll have to come back home and play another game immediately against the Edmonton Oilers. Well, the same situation is playing out for the St. Louis Blues, because on Sunday afternoon, they will face off against the Colorado Avalanche at home, and then we'll face off against the Nashville Predators on Monday night at home. Injuries becoming an issue for this Nashville Predators team now, especially for one particular grouping, and that's the defense corps. McDonough out another 1 to 3 weeks. Carrier and Luzon left the game earlier today. We have no update on how long either of them are going to be out of the lineup. Borowiecki is on injured reserve, so for the Nashville Predators, the defense corps is now taking a massive hit, and they're going to have to rely on more than call-ups if Carrier and Luzon are going to be out for any length of time. And the Luzon injury against Ottawa did not look very good. I'll wait for official word before I go ahead and say anything about it, but it did not look good the way he exited the ice and went immediately to the locker room. So injuries now a problem for the Nashville Predators. They'd remained relatively healthy for the first 20-plus games of the season, but now starting to see some issues in the last couple of games. Taking a look at the NHL ranks between these two teams and the numbers, the Nashville Predators are 29th in the league for goals for, 2.60 per game, only 67 on the season. When it comes to goals for, the St. Louis Blues are 23rd in the NHL. They're generating 3 goals per game. Goals against, the Preds are 15th in the NHL, 3.08 against per game, 3.89 against the St. Louis Blues is 29th, right near the bottom of the league. Shots for, the Preds are 21st in the NHL. Shots for on the other side of the ledger, the St. Louis Blues are 26th in the NHL. Shots against St. Louis is 21st. The Nashville Predators are 25th. They're giving up 33.1 shots against per game on the power play. Abysmal by the Nashville Predators. 28th rated in the NHL, 16.7% conversion rate. It's simply not good enough. We may have seen some signs of it improving at one point, but frankly, being right there at the bottom of the league, it's not going to be good enough. Now, the St. Louis Blues are the 16th best power play in the NHL, converting at 22.2%, or 16 out of 72 on the season. Penalty kill, the Preds have given up 20 power play goals against. Their 18th rated in the NHL. The St. Louis Blues have the worst rated penalty kill in the entirety of the NHL, coming in at 32nd. They've given up 21 power play goals against. They are only killing off 63.8% of the times that they are shorthanded. Now, every team in the NHL has high-skilled individuals, so let's talk about the individual stats leaders for both of these teams. On the St. Louis side of things, Thomas leads the Blues in scoring, 6 goals, 18 assists for 24 points. Kyrou, 10 and 12 for 22. Buchnevich, 9 and 11 for 20. Tarasenko, 7 goals and 13 assists for 20 points. And Shen is at 6 goals and 14 assists for 20 points. Not knowing who the St. Louis Blues are going to deploy against Colorado on Sunday afternoon, I'll give you the numbers and the stats for both of the goaltenders. Neither are very impressive. Binnington, 8-11-0, and 8.89 save percentage, 3.42 goals against average. Greiss, who started against the Predators and took the loss earlier in the season, October the 27th, has a record of 3-4-0 overall, 8.99 save percentage, 3.69 goals against average. Taking a look at the Nashville Predators side of statistics, and it's really not looking all that good. Philip Forsberg's not having a bad season, but he's certainly nowhere near the pace that he was on last year. 8 goals and 15 assists for 23 points. Matt Duchene, 6 goals and 15 assists for 21 points. Only 6 games for Matt Duchene now through 25 games. That's really not very good. Roman Josi, 6 and 15 for 21. Mikhail Granlund, 4 and 14 for 18. Ryan Johansson, 7 and 8 for 15. And again, with the back-to-back coming up, no idea how John Hyde's going to deploy his netminders. Get the feeling Lankinen, if I had to pick, would be starting in St. Louis. UC Saros getting to start back home against Edmonton. So let's go with Lankinen's numbers. First 3-3-0, 9.34 save percentage, 2.27 goals against average. UC Saros is now 9-8-2 and a 9.06 save percentage, 3.05 goals against average. Nashville Predators have a back-to-back coming up. They've got an injured D-core, and they have an underperforming offense. They're going to have to do an awful lot of work if they're going to want to pick up points in St. Louis, then back home against Edmonton. But first, we've got to go back and find out everything that happened Saturday afternoon between the Nashville Predators and the Ottawa Senators. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and that's coming up next. Rebirth Sports, check out their work, rebirthsports.com, or find them on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Very easy to find them, and they're very interactive, very good people, and I certainly love having a partnership with that crew. You see me wearing the Renegades of Puck home jersey right here in the bunker. You see me wearing the road jersey, the third jersey, just last night skating with the Mighty Drunks here in Middle Tennessee in the Middle C Division. Got a chance to pull on the red, white, and blue Rebirth Sports Mighty Drunks jersey. Good looking threads out there at the rink. Got asked multiple times, where did that jersey come from? And I had to tell them, of course, because I love having the conversation. Came from Rebirth Sports. Sure to appreciate them. They take visions, make them reality, and they are certainly not jersey makers. They are hockey tailors. So check out their work, rebirthsports.com. We go all the way back to 12/10 of the year 2022, and the Nashville Predators are welcoming in the Ottawa Senators. John Hynes deploys his lines in a jumble like this. Forsberg, Granlund, and Duchene are back together. Niederreiter, Johansson, and Sissons. Trennan, Parson, and Janot, a new line combination. Smith, Glass, and Jankowski. Your defensive pairings to start the game. Josi and Gross. Ekholm and Carrier, Luzon, and Fabro. UC Saros gets the start net. We're 58 seconds into the first period, and Talbot comes up with a save on Forsberg. First shot on goal of the game for either team. 1:49 in the first period. Saros comes up with a save on Batherson. The rebound hits the post. 3:09. Saros a save on Sanderson from the low circle. The Nashville Predators have 2 shots on goal in 10 minutes of the first period. The Sens are competing incredibly hard at Bridgestone Arena. 10:39. Pinto's off to the box. 2 minutes for high. Sticking Preds with their first opportunity of the game on the power play. Talbot as a scramble and a scrum and a numerous opportunities at jam, and he's able to survive. Talbot not controlling rebounds very well early in this game. 2 shots on goal for the Preds. Strong zone time possession, unable to break through. 15:05 at the first. That comes off the box. 2 minutes for interference. Saros comes up with a save on Chabot. Saros then comes up with a save on Kachuk's backhand, plus the rebound on the doorstep. Kachuk had a glorious scoring opportunity right here, and then Saros comes up with another save on Chabot before the end of the power play. We go to 18:03 of the first period. Talbot comes up with a save on Forsberg. Another scramble, and Talbot's really shaky in his opportunities to control the puck and control rebounds in this first period. We at the end of the first period with Ottawa out shooting Nashville 14-8. second period clean sheet. Takes a while before the action picks up. 5:03 into the second. Watson's off the box. 2 minutes for holding Forsberg stick. Talbot comes up with a save on Parson in 2 times at close range. And then Gross has a follow-up strong save by Talbot right there. 8:43 the second. Saros comes up with a save on Stutzel. 9 minutes in. Luzon versus Watson. Yes, that Watson that used to play here in Nashville. Luzon was crushed Kachuk along the wall, and that's what led to Watson challenging him to a fight. 9:34 of the second period. Forsberg off the box, 2 minutes for interference. Talbot save on Yossi, plus Smith's rebound opportunity on the shorthanded rush. A strong PK overall by the Predators. It was very quiet out there for those 2 minutes, other than the Preds' really good shorthanded scoring rush. 13:49 the second period. Batherson's off the box, 2 minutes for cross-checking Talbot in the D, prevent Granlund from tucking the puck in at the post. It looked like he had the hole for just a moment, but it's taken away from it. 16:57. Trenton finally breaks through in this game with the second goal of the season, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead over the Ottawa Senators, who was a wrist shot from the circle. After taking the puck after half wall, he skates it into the slot, and just an absolute sick wrist shot by Trenton gives the Preds a 1-0 lead. But in 19:32 of the second period, Nashville is going to pick up a penalty, a bench minor. Too many men on the ice. We've seen entirely too much of this as of late. Giroux's going to tie the game up at 1 apiece with his 12th goal of the season. It happened with Luzon down and out of the play. Looked like a wrist injury on what could have been a potential boarding call. Could have even been a major boarding call, especially since it led to an injury. Luzon immediately vacates the zone, makes his way to the bench, and heads to the locker room. But while he's down and out of the play, that is when the Ottawa Senators go ahead and score their goal. Giroux gets his 12th. The Jam, it's just too much in this situation. 1-1 hockey game at the end of the second period. Ottawa out shooting Nashville 25-20. We come into the third period with bad news for the Nashville Predators. Luzon has not returned, and now Alex Carrier has also not returned. 4 defensemen remain for the Nashville Predators for the final 20, possibly more, minutes of this game. 2:38 into the third period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Sanderson off of the rush. 3:13, Saros comes up with a save on Stützle. 3:55 of the third period. DeBrincat gets his 7th goal of the season, giving Ottawa a 2-1 lead. It was Fabro redirecting the pass across the crease through the 5-hole, right off his stick blade, right through the pads of UC Saros and into the back of the net. DeBrincat was the last send to touch the puck, so he's awarded the goal. 7th of the season. Ottawa leads 2-1. 6:45 of the third period. Talbot comes with a save on Sissons from the slot area. 7:15 DeBrincat off the box, 2 minutes for roughing. The Nashville Predators about to have a great opportunity on the power play, but Philip Forsberg eliminates that with a 2-minute boarding penalty, creating a 4-on-4 situation. It absolutely was a boarding penalty. That's when Batherson scores, and 7th goal of the season, giving Ottawa a 3-1 lead. It was a chip over the shoulder off of the rush, and suddenly the Nashville Predators find themselves down by 2 goals on home ice. Nino Niederreiter, though, not giving up the fight yet at 10:15 in the third period. His 10th goal of the season makes it 3-2 in favor of the Ottawa Senators. It was a wrist shot through the elbow from the face-off dot off of the rush. Nino Niederreiter's now 10th goal of the season. 15:21 of the third period. Matt Duchene's off the box. 4 minutes for high sticking. It was reviewed, but then it was also confirmed. DeBrincat hits the post with a wide open net, and then 19:39 Talbot with the extra attacker against comes up with a save on Yossi. Gives up no rebound. The one time the Predators needed a rebound worse than anything, and this is the time Talbot goes ahead and finds his game and controls it. That was the end of the game right there. The Nashville Predators fall to the Ottawa Senators on home ice, 3-2. Now, the Ottawa Senators are an 8th-place team in their division over in the Eastern Conference. They play hard. It's the NHL. Every team in the NHL has plenty of good hockey players. You don't make it to the NHL unless you are a good hockey player. The coaching staff, the system, the structure, what they have put together is a team that is difficult to play against night in and night out. The Senators team had just beaten the New York Rangers very recently, and now they beat the Nashville Predators. The Preds offense absolutely deficient in this game, and it let them down yet again. Stick taps to the Ottawa Senators. They came to Nashville, and they won a game when they are a last-place team. That's the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We've got analysis coming up, and we've got the Renegades puck also in the trenches, and that's coming up next. Strong Style Fit